Hey everybody, this is Ryan from Sailing Freestyle. I'm under a boat. Alright, today I'm doing a couple of just odd things here and there. One thing I wanted to do was check out the water ballast system and see if I had to worry about that leaking at all. Check out the gasket and that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at it. Alright, so here she is. It's just a stopper like this. It goes up, I don't know if you can see it, there's like a threaded rod in there that goes up into the cabin area, and you just kind of screw down on a wing nut type thing and it'll eventually just suck it closed like that, and then the rubber gasket will hold the water in there and or prevent any more water coming in that you don't want coming in. So we're checking that out, and this rubber feels nice and soft, which is good, but there is like these little tears and stuff which probably aren't going to amount too much, but I'm pretty sure this is cheap enough to replace anyways from bluewateryachts.com. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten the sucker up from the cabin, and then I'm going to take a hose and I'm going to fill it up with a garden hose and then see if I can come back and see if it's leaking at all. Alright, if you're not familiar with these boats, the access to that water ballast is right here. You flip it open, and then you got this little contraption here, and you got this plug here, which this plug I know is pretty crappy. I gotta replace that. This is how you close that gasket on the bottom. You just tighten this up, then underneath that gasket that we were just looking at is sucking up towards the hull of the boat, closing up those holes. Alright, so I don't know how many of you are used to these boats, but what you do is before you put the trailer in the water, or the boat in the water, you make sure that this is unplugged and that that plug is dropped down. Put the boat in the water, and then when the boat is in the water, basically this tank floods. And you would stick your finger in this hole here until you can feel it, and that's how you know the water ballast is full. And then once you know it's full, you tighten this up, and that'll keep the water in there. And then you throw like a plug like this in the other hole, and that keeps the water from spilling out when you're keeled over. So we're kind of doing this backwards today because obviously I'm not going to drop the boat into the water today, but maybe I can see if that gasket and that plug hold water by putting water into the tank and then going underneath and checking it out. So what we're going to do is fill it up with a garden hose. Alright, right now the water ballast is filling up with water. I can hear it in there. And this is the plug up here, and so far no water is coming out, so that is a good sign. It is holding water in there. And we'll just let it do its thing. I'm actually gonna get out from underneath here for a moment because it is 1,200 pounds extra, I believe, 1,200 pounds. And you haven't put 1,200 pounds in this boat. And if the trailer doesn't hold up, I could be getting crushed right now, and that would not be good. So I'm going to get out from underneath this until I know I can hold that much weight. Alright, so this is not good. I noticed water still dripping into the bilge when I was throwing that thing up, and there's definitely a leak in the water ballast. Check this out. So there is water moving right there, so there is definitely water coming out of that water ballast from somewhere. So it looks like I gotta rip all this foam out and see if I can find that leak. Okay, bad news number 2. Not only does the water ballast leak internally, but motherfucker. Well, without too much digging, I found the leak in the water ballast, and it's actually pretty massive. Here, I'll flip you around so you can see. So yeah, this is as soon as you get into the V-berth here, that first compartment. You can see this crack right here. Looks like it starts, yeah, it might go a little bit deeper. Actually, it looks like it starts right about here. Goes all the way to here. So we'll add this to the list of projects that gotta get done. Man, it's freaking hot out today. I'm sweating like crazy. I hate this freaking flotation foam. I know people say that it's the best thing since sliced bread, but it's pretty freaking annoying if you ask me. It's messy, it's disgusting, it's little chunks. Like, who wants that kind of mess in their boat? So I think the project is going to be to get all this flotation foam out of here, first of all. A, because it's a waste of space. B, because it's a mess. And C, because I got a project I got to do underneath it. But yeah, I'm going to get rid of all that foam and patch that hole up. That's going to be a project right there. So add that to the list. So yeah, definitely not what I wanted to find. It just kind of adds to the headaches. I mean, it's probably nothing expensive to fix, but more projects nonetheless. So it looks like it's just one more delay until we see her in the water. I got one more test I want to do today anyways. Alright, the other test I was going to do today was check out the water tightness of the through hull in the lazarette by throwing in the plug and filling that with water, but upon further inspection of the plug, this O-ring is crapo. I remember seeing that O-ring and saying, oh yeah, that looks pretty good, but there's another one on the top and it is a piece of junk. Making this a piece of junk until I can replace the O-ring. But I do have one other idea. Let's go check that out. Alright, as I mentioned in another video, this is a box of antenna wire. All the extra rigging the previous owner had. And in that, I had this. This is the old transducer to the speedometer. And yeah, these O-rings look perfectly fine. So I can either just throw this in there and see if that plugs it up and fill it up with water, or I can take the O-ring off of here and throw that on the plug. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Cool. Alright, the plug's got a couple fresh O-rings now. Yeah, should work a lot better. Let's go see if it works. Alright, let's see if it works. By the way, this lazarette is freaking huge. Now, that kind of spun. You would think if that was nice and tight, that wouldn't be spinning at all. We might have bigger issues here than I thought. Alright, here it is with the plug in, and already Drip. 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 Yeah, man. That shit ain't watertight. So, man, that didn't take long to figure that out. Anyways, so there you have it. Through hull fitting in the Lazarette is not watertight. I do want to keep this though because I believe it'll be good to have for when the time comes that I need instruments, to have a depth sounder and knot meter. And they make those all-in-one transducers that should fit right through there. If not, give me a new through hull with the kit. So in the meantime, I just want to make this one, I think, watertight if I want to get out there and at least sail it, or whatever comes first. If I get to the point where I can afford instruments, which is probably not going to be for a long time because it's like $1,300 for the package. I'll probably just have to try to take this one and seal it up and make use of it with the plug until I can get to that point, because I mean, at least that part should be easy enough. So yeah, there's that. Also, before we move on, I should point out that the leak is actually coming from the edges here not being sealed. I mean, it just, the actual fitting itself sucks and it needs to be resealed. The plug, which we just changed out the O-rings for, is holding water fine. So if we can just get the fitting to be reseated, resealed, it should be alright. Alright, moving on. What the frick? Can't get this stupid plug unplugged now. I can't imagine being out in the middle of the ocean and being like, oh yeah, I want to get the plug out and change this, and I have to crawl inside the goddamn Lazarette. Let's see if this works. What's everybody else's opinion on the flotation foam? I did a little bit of research, read some of the forums, and it seems to get mixed reviews. Some people are hardcore for it, other people are hardcore against it. Some people say, man, it's going to save your life. Some people say it'll save your boat. Some people say it's absolutely useless. Some people say that, you know, all the space it takes up is much better off used as storage space. So what's everybody else's opinion on this stuff? Like, look at this one. Completely, it's got mildew and all sorts of other junk and crap. It weighs about 10 pounds. Must be soaked with water. So what's everybody else's opinion? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this stuff worth replacing? Obviously, I'm not going to use this stuff, but is it worth taking up all the space with more foam and adding it back in? Or just say, fuck the foam and do something cool with all this space? Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Again, let me know in the comments. Is this foam worth putting back? Or is it just a big gimmick? I mean, I know it will keep the boat afloat, but will it save your boat? Will you be able to use the boat after, or is it better off sinking to the bottom anyways? And what are the chances that you're going to be in that situation anyways? I mean, I'm not concerned about the safety aspect of it. I mean, I don't think it's a life-saving thing. I mean, I think if you're close enough to shore, you can get a mayday across and be out of the boat in your life jackets, floating around. I mean, I don't think you need an island to be sitting on the top of while you're out there. But that's just me. But let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Put the foam back or get rid of the foam and make use out of it. Alright, I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Again, Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. Hop over to the Patreon page, become a patron, and if you do become a patron, I keep giving you a shout out. And yeah.